And welcome back, everyone. Hello, chat. How are you doing tonight? We are here. The coven is here. Some werewolves are here. We might have some Illuminati with us, some vampires. Who knows what these lovely people will get up to. I'm Lydia. I'm half-arsed hermit, and I am your guide through this magical world. Today, the magical world being New Mexico in the 1970s. But what really makes it magic is these folks here by my side. I'll let them introduce themselves in just a second, but before we do that, please have a look at our sponsors today, because they make the season happening. We play theirs, we test their products, and we tell them, of course, honestly what we think, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do, especially this one, Great American Witch by Christopher Gray. Of course, we have a game on Tuesday as well, the Nuadan Chronicles. We've got our pirates traveling to the Lost Isle of Mist. That is sponsored by Broken Dice. We have Black Void games with Black Void Into the Oblivious Depth on Wednesday. We've got 2 on Thursday, Mora, Ravenswood Academy with the Raven's Oath by by the Mighty Narwhal, of course. And Smudgy Games is sponsoring Parslings, a game with various inky creatures in your head giving you special powers, because there's power and magic in words. And Arcana Media, of course, is helping us with Nibiru on Friday. Big finale coming up this week. Evil Hat Productions, that's Fate Cthulhu on Saturday, GM'd by our lovely trooper, SJP. We love him dearly, not just because he lets me be a time traveler who pops in every now and then and fuck things up. But that's just me. We also are affiliated with Dice Dungeon. Did I say it right this time? Yeah, Dice Dungeons. I always say Dungeon Dice. And we are affiliated with Grinding Coffee. Of course, Dice Dungeons is everything you need for your dice herding, dice goblining ways. We all do it, don't lie. And coffee, Grinding Coffee is LGBTQ plus owned business where you can get coffee directly delivered to your door. So check that out if you want to stay awake throughout the whole week to check out all the good games. Of course, I also want to say hi to all the YouTube viewers as well. You can see all those links down in the description below. And if you want to leave us a comment about today's game or really anything you see on screen, we would love to hear that, because that's how the internet works, and because we always want to make sure that you actually enjoy yourselves here. These folks here, of course, are the biggest part of why you enjoy yourselves here. So let's introduce them without further ado, starting with Rindis with Party Wipe Games, and then let's just go counterclockwise.
Well, hello, I'm Rindis of Party Wipe Games. I will be playing Marcus. He is a self-styled necromancer of the Hecate style, and very excited to see where Werewolf Bones and Illuminati take us.
Hi everyone, my name is Alyssa from Alyssa Vamp, and tonight I will be playing Naneshka, Hecate Witch, and we both use she/they pronouns, and I'm very excited to see what we're gonna do after the great boat heist.
D.
Hi, my name is Dee, and tonight I'll be playing Anati Rossford, and she is very excited to visit an old friend.
Hi everyone, my name is Valerie, and today I bring to you Sylvie, our very, very socially awkward but loves dinosaurs and digging them up. Irish witch. So she is the hag, crafted the hag.
And if you want to support all these wonderful folks, then please retweet our live link, because when we reach 20, we're going to give them a boon. When we reach 30, we're actually at 19 already. When we reach 30, a bane shall be passed on towards them, and I'll figure out how I'm gonna make their consequences a little bit more dire than possibly assumed. But what happened last time? Well, the Great American Bone Heist, I think, is what we called it. for that's exactly what happened. Our witches who reside in a town called Sears Rest in New Mexico in 1979, well, they found out that a nearby, or an archaeologist, paleontologist in the area, found a skeleton that wasn't dinosaurs, mammoths, saber-toothed tigers. It seemed slightly werewolfish, but that can't be, right? It's not a thing that exists. Well, unless of course you have actual proof with a skeleton. So our witches decided to make sure that proof never really sees any public eye, any public light, and they decided to steal it. Successfully so. Well done. You did not get caught, but you did realize that there was other interest in those very bones. In particular, interest of the nearby Illuminati branch. You managed to bamboozle them completely and get the bones away from them, but unfortunately, Naneshka left something of hers behind, a little bit of blood, and Anati left something of hers behind as well, a shoe. True Cinderella story here. But they made it back to Sears Rest, to their bar, the Blood Moon Rising, where they spent the rest of the night drinking to their success. The bones are in their possession. They're not entirely sure what they're going to do with them, but they're there. Charred, half broken, a werewolf. What now is the question. Well, maybe someone knows, someone who used to be running this town before. After all, this coven is not the first. These witches are not the first. And it just so happens that it is time for Sylvie to visit her grandmother. Her grandmother, Aoife, a proud woman, Irish immigrant, came to the States after the middle of the Second World War. Unfortunately, while magical herself, while blessed with a long life and a strong life and strong opinions, her physical form, well, starts to deteriorate, as all of our physical forms eventually do. And when the first signs of dementia, Alzheimer's struck, she asked for help. She knew it would not be long before she mistook someone for an enemy. Trapped in an old memory, she would cause harm to those she loved. So she asked to have her magic taken away by the coven, by those of her generation that remained, and by those of the new generation that would take over, that would come after her. All of you were present for that. Now she resides in a nursing home, in a caring home, not in Sears Rest, one of the nearby cities near Albuquerque. But every now and then, of course, you visit her, you see how she's doing, and every now and then she's lucid enough to tell you so. Today, we visit her with Anati and Sylvie. And it's a nice place. It's one of those places that tries to be a nice place. And you can tell. There's always a little bit of a fake smile that's trying to make its way onto your faces when you go to that place. There's always a little bit of wistfulness. You can't help it. There are plants, potted plants, lots of greenery. There are paintings, color, cheerfulness, or an attempt thereof. Lots of pensioners, lots of elderly folks in the area, of various cultures and of various beliefs and creeds and faiths, and you can see that. Always the doors to their rooms decorated in various things, memories of their loved ones, or where they came from. Sylvie, I'm asking you specifically, what does Aoife's room look like?
A couple things with Aoife. She's most of the stuff that's in her room are things that were brought from the home in which now that I reside in. Um, she had an affinity for cats, so she's got lots of little porcelain knickknacks or cats everywhere. That one of those clocks that with the tail swinging sort of thing. Um, there is also um, she tends to have um, a type of herb or incense always burning. Um, to the, I'm assuming the nurse's dismay. But when this woman wants something, you don't tell her no, even in her dementia. So, and for some reason, and I imagine it's probably some sort of herb or incense that was used for a protection spell that she used to do to kind of keep her safe before to begin with, and somehow she is like retained that this is here to protect me and I need this, like kind of retained in her that she needed to have this burning. But yeah, she's lots of little porcelain figurines, quilts that she's done herself, very granny.
Very granny.
Mm-hmm.
Anati, how do you feel when you visit Aoife?
I think Anati tries to be very doting and just checks on her, make sure that the nurses are treating her properly and that everything's all right, and that most of the things that she should have the way that she wants are the way that she wants. When interacting directly with her, she's a little less on edge, but still a bit she still considers herself to be a student, essentially. So it's very, she always calls her ma'am, things like that. But yeah, one of a few times that Anati seems nervous in general.
You see Aoife not in her room at this point, but it's a nice day. It's a sunny day, and she wanted to be out by the window. They do have a garden of sorts as well, and at this time of the year, it's not a scorcher to the point where you need to water everything every day. Everything starts to blossom. Everything is green, and she likes it. She likes that view. She likes to watch the plants grow, is something the nurses sometimes say with a smile. So you see her by the window open, just staring out, holding a little doll in her hand. It's one that she makes. Her fingers shivering, holding the needle nowhere near as securely as they used to, as you remember, in particular, Sylvie, when she made those dolls, those protective dolls for the whole coven, for everyone in town. But she's not willing to give that up just yet. She doesn't see you coming. She's focused on that doll, looking up every now and then just to smile at the outside. Oh, you're muted.
So unsure if her hearing aids are in her ears or not. I don't want to like approach her from behind just because I don't want to frighten her or just startle her in general. So I'm gonna make sure when I approach her, it's coming from her peripherals, from her side. And when I get closer, I will say, "Hello, Granny."
Oh. Oh, I knew you'd be coming today. Hey.
Yeah, it's hello. I see you're keeping
Oh.
busy.
And she's trying to get up, and then can't, and then
Yeah.
sits back down.
Mhm.
You keep forgetting. Come here, love, and tries to hug you from. Natty,
I will, like-
don't be shy.
Yeah. I will squat in order to hug her, and then after the hug, I will pull like my own chair to sit with her, so that way she's not this the whole time.
She pulls you both into this big hug. Again, her hands not quite as strong as they used to be, but she's not letting you go for the appropriate amount of granny time, which is always a little bit longer than necessary. And then, come, sit down. And puts the doll aside, tries to hold her hands to stop them from shaking. I didn't quite realize that it's already been 2 weeks. How have you been faring? Tell me everything. Any news?
Well,
Before I answer, can I do an awareness roll? To see what state of mind that she's in right now, like what level of lucidness that she is, kind of thing. Cool.
Absolutely.
And it's plus wisdom.
Wisdom.
Yep, that will be an 8.
Wonderful. An 8 is a mixed success, so essentially what you see is that, yes, you notice she called Anati Anati. She didn't use your name, but she seems to immediately recognize you. No confusion really in her mind, or on her mind. She seems to be quite lucid today.
Okay. Kind of exchange looks with the Nati. Because even with my own grandmother, sometimes it's hard for me to like word things. So this look, it's a look that I've given Anati probably before, because Granny was like, update me on everything, and I'm looking at Anati like,
well, things have been a little bit more exciting than usually are back around the way. Marcus is still good. Nanny's still good. You know, Cassius is still Cassius. He told me to. Oh, and I'll pull out a small little Tupperware container that has a slice of cherry pie in it, and go. This is this is from Cassius. Told me to tell you hello.
What a lovely old bat. And she takes the Tupperware. You have to hold it a little bit longer for her to really get a grip on it, but she'll eventually take it, bring it to her, still shaking. Tries to open it up. It all takes a little bit longer. It all takes a little bit more time than is strictly comfortable, but she gives it a smell. Cassius, what a wonderful chef he was. Naneshka doing all right as well.
She is. She
Yes.
is. She's had a little bit of trouble sleeping recently, but you know, Nanny, she's a tough old board, so I'm sure she'll be all right.
Tell her to go at the cemetery. The lavender patch should be just right. Should be just right at this time of the year. The roots. The roots are good for sleeping. And actually, you know, the lavender patch has not existed for several years now. It was transferred to a different... The herbal garden in particular was transferred to a different area.
I will make sure that she gets some lavender root before she goes to sleep tonight. Outside of that, And Anati pauses, wondering.
I saw Reeves the other day, Granny.
Where is that useless cat?
Yeah, we say
Where
that
is
he
he?
is useless. Not here today, I don't think. You know how he is. He'll appear where he wants and when he wants. But I did see him yesterday, actually. He helped us with a little tomfoolery, if I should say so myself.
So he finally got the mice out of the granary, did he?
I have not seen any mice in the granary. I think he is doing a very good job. He is a very good boy.
Well, that's good. That's good. You can get him a little bit of cream then. They like cream. Always out by the window, as my mother would say.
So you see, like, her start to open her mouth, like she's about to correct her own grandmother to not give cats cream because they're lactose intolerant, but she actually will, like, stop that thought, and she's like, of course, he is a huge fan of cream. I'll be sure to treat him next time I see him.
Good old Tomcat. Good old Tomcat.
Mm-hmm.
And how's Reeves doing?
He got all of the mice out of the granary.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's
Mm-hmm.
You can get him some cream
Yes,
always by the
I
windowsill.
certainly will. It's always there on a daily basis. I promise.
Well, we've been catching you up. How have you been? Everything going all right?
Well, I've had a visitor. I don't get many visitors here.
A visitor.
She was quite lovely. Brought me a new statue. And she reaches
Really?
out a hand with a shaking finger. It's in my room. I don't... You know, my memory's going. I don't remember her name.
It's all right. It's all right, Granny. Don't worry. Anadi, could you just stay with her for a moment?
Yeah,
I have to use the
yeah,
bathroom.
absolutely.
I'm not going to the bathroom. Considering how meticulous Sylvie is and, like, the way her memory works, if she goes into her room and looks at the statues, she wants to see what's the new statues, because she is very aware of her granny's knickknacks. Like,
You head into
suspicious
the
as
room,
fuck.
and it's barely changed. There are the cat statuettes, there are those little dollies that she's been making. Various stages of craftsmanship throughout the last few months. There is one new cat statue right by the bed. It's a wood carving. Fairly raw and simple. It does look a little bit like Reeves.
Mhm.
No letter, no dedication etched into the statue, nothing.
Yeah, I will go and I will pick up this statue. What kind of wood is it made out of?
Wood.
It's made out of wood. Okay. I was
Yeah,
going
solid
really
and
deep
proper.
into some witch lore. Yeah, sorry.
Nope, just a wood carving. No bone, no.
Yeah. Okay, so it's made out of tree. Let me see what I got here. You're saying there's nothing etched onto it. It's just like, is it painted or is it plain?
It is plain.
It's plain, so it's just brown carving of wood. Just kind of looking and see what I have. I guess again, it would be maybe another awareness just to see if there's anything magical coming off of this thing. Like, is there like, or not even magical, just is there a microphone in it? Like, that kind of stuff, if you would allow me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anything sus. I'm looking for anything sus. Because we are the people that visit her. Okay, cool. That is a 9.
A 9.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing inside. It's not hollow. You move it around. You look at it from every angle. You look for hidden compartments.
Mm-hmm.
There is potentially the faintest magical touch to it.
Mm-hmm.
But the energy you feel is that of a blessing. Nothing
A blessing.
in any way, shape, or form dangerous or divination-wise. Nothing to observe the room.
Yeah.
If that's what you were thinking.
Yeah. Can I flag a nurse down?
Mm-hmm.
Probably like one that I would recognize that has like that works there that tends to care for Granny more than the others.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Yes, dear. Yes, darling. How can I help you?
My grandmother mentioned she had another visitor that wasn't myself or Nati that has visited her recently. Could I, because I know that there's a sign-in sheet. I wasn't aware that she was getting any more visitors. Is there a way that I could see who that was? Or do you know who it was? Is there a description?
Oh, sure. That was just 2 days ago. Fairly tall woman. Strawberry blonde hair. Very nice suit. Hold on. She heads away and she comes back with the name Felicia Avery.
Okay. Felicia Avery. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And I'll put the little, since it is a protection spell, I will put the little cat back where it belongs. Exactly, and very meticulously in the exact position that it was left, because I know change would be terrifying. I will thank her and go back to Anati and Granny.
When Sylvie left, there was a moment where Aoife just zoned out for a minute, maybe 2, and then snapping up. Oh, I was gone for a little bit, wasn't I? I'm sorry.
Just a little bit. No, you're fine.
This keeps happening more often these days. Oh, dear God, you're looking mighty pensive there.
Well, yeah, it's just been a lot recently, and well, I'll be frank, I don't really like this place very much.
It grows on you. Especially when you have no other choice. Good people, though. Kind people.
Well, that's good, at least.
Here, come here. And she grabs your hand and starts mumbling something that you've heard quite often. A little prayer, a little blessing that she would always speak when she was worked up, or when someone else was worked up, and she'd try to calm them and bless them. Back in the day, well, there would be magic attached to it. These days, not so much, but it's still a habit that grounds her, and you feel a little bit of calm wash over you as well.
You know, I don't know if you exactly remember last time I told you, but I turned that into the sign off for my radio show, just to give everybody a little extra bit of peace when they go about their day.
Oh, that's a very lovely thought.
Yeah.
We, my family, we would always say goodbye to each other that way. Sylvie's coming back. Are you going to ask her about werewolf stuff or anything in that, or are you wanting to just be with her and visit her regularly, or make it a regular visit?
I feel like it would have been discussed in the car. So what do you think, Val?
You're muted again.
Can you repeat the question?
Do we want to ask her about any werewolf related things, or do we want to just make this a casual check-in visit?
Because I saw her repeat herself one time, I'm gonna fucking roll on it, actually. Evens or odds, D? Tell me.
Evens.
Cool. Evens we ask her, odds we don't. Yep. Odds we don't. It's a 3. Okay. I think that the immediate, the werewolf thing is on Sylvie's mind, but we have an actual werewolf to talk to, and then suddenly her getting a visitor is like this thing that is like frontalized and compartmentalized as like more important regarding to Granny than the werewolf is. So
valid.
When I rejoin, I will pat Granny on the back and give her a very affirming, affectionate rub. And I'll ask her, I was like, Granny, is there anything that I can get you before we head back to town? Is there anything that you need while we're in the city that you want?
No, I'm quite alright. Lyneth, I might need some new fabric for the totems. Some new fabric, and maybe some colourful fabric this time around.
Yeah, I can definitely get you something very colorful from the craft store.
And if you could tell Marge just stop by one of these days. I miss our chats.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. Who?
Marge, she asked you for Marge. Marge is the spirit, one of the old coven members, the spirit that is tied to the Blood Moon, the Bad Moon Rising bar.
It's just said with a bit of sadness. I'm sure you and Marge will be talking soon.
She's a chatterbox, that one.
Mm-hmm.
If anything happened in town that you two are not telling me about, then she will, and you know it.
Absolutely, she would. Luckily, nothing has actually happened in town, right, Anadi?
Just the normal shenanigans. You know how the people get there. We're trying to do our best to keep them all in order. Together, at least.
Oh. There actually was a man that came by with some cows, and let's just say that the cows now belong to George on the way to Flagstaff.
Some cows, interesting. Tell me everything. And she's quickly following your lead whenever you're mentioning a new topic. She shows a lot of interest. But as you're not going to mention the werewolf stuff, you said?
I decided not to.
Right.
No. Don't want to stress
As
her
you
out
spend
today.
the morning with Aoife, and eventually she gets tired. She gets tired quite quickly these days. She asks to be brought back into her room, and you roll her back and help her into bed. Put the TV on with one of her favourite shows, stay with her for just a little bit longer. MASH, of course. And just as you make ready to leave, she'll say, Maddie?
I'm sorry?
What's that?
He's mad.
Oh, Sylvie. Yes,
Yes.
Sylvie. I thought I saw Madeline there earlier. She was just here.
Madeline visits you?
Who?
Don't worry about it, Granny. I love you. And I will kiss her forehead before I leave.
I think it's
you-
it's time for us to be getting on back.
You make your way back. Thoughtful, pensive, a little bit worried, perhaps. Did you take the statue with you, or did you leave it with...
I did... Ooh, now that I heard Maddie, I'm gonna take it. Like, originally I was gonna leave it and look into this alias. Like, there was a suspicion, but now that that's slightly confirmed, like a little bit more confirmed, I'm going to go ahead and take it. And just while she, like, kind of drifts off to sleep, I will take it. Yeah.
Alright. So you're heading back into town, having left quite early to visit Aoife. Of course, someone who is never up early, because she has to take care of the bar, is Naneshka. And as we zoom back to Seer's Rest, we find Naneshka still in her bed, still sleeping even though the sun is coming through the blinds, but not sleeping peacefully. Not dreaming peacefully either. Naneshka has not had a good night's sleep in quite a long time. Naneshka dreams of old things, old wounds, old scars. Which one are you dreaming about today?
A burn mark on their left hip.
When did that burn mark first appear?
When she was quite young, still figuring out her powers. Her experiments got a little bit out of control. Luckily, it was just her that she hurt, and possibly the wall paint of her shitty little apartment.
How old were you?
14.
Where were your parents?
Not home. Working. Doing errands. Out drinking. She's not sure.
At that point, it had been several days of you not sleeping. It's that strange feeling of elation, slight delusion. But your imagination was running wild. You'd found out that you could do things before. You were not quite sure what you could do, how you could do it. And every time you tried, it wouldn't work. To the point of frustration. To the point of anger. So that day, you tried again. What exactly did go wrong when you tried again in that shitty little apartment of yours?
I think that one try was out of frustration and anger, way too emotional to control. I'd like to think she went to punch something, maybe the wall itself, and it was more explosive than she thought it would be.
I'd say you tried to make something float, because you had done that before, and it wouldn't work. And when you punch the wall, an energy is released that leaves a crater. It's not even just through the wall, it's a spider web of tears in the wall. It's a spider web of little fissures all the way throughout. It almost looks beautiful as you look at your fist and as you look around you, but then that spider web starts to glow with flames. And from the center outwards, it spreads. And the flames spread. More and more. Down the wall, like insects crawling. Across the floor. And while you look on, amazed by you did that was you, the thought that, oh fuck, the place is burning is finally coming to the forefront of your brain. What did you do that day?
She ran. Once the thought of the place is burning, the flames crawling up the wall and down the floor, she thought it was too late to try and put out. So she tried to grab what was most important to her, probably a shitty little guitar that someone had given her secondhand. And probably by the time she came out of grabbing that, the fire had gotten way more out of control. Her panic possibly having an effect on that.
You just ran. Like a coward.
I didn't know what else to do. I was 14.
You could have saved the place. So much money your parents had to shell out. Because you can't control yourself.
I think that's none of your fucking business.
You made it my business.
Yeah, well, that's on you.
Do you even know who I am? Which one of the many souls you left in your wake?
An annoying one, apparently.
You look tired, Naneshka.
Yeah, no thanks to you. Would you like to leave me alone now? There's a light. Please pass through it. You'll be much happier. All that bullshit.
Adorable. I might leave you alone. I could. Perhaps I should wander. Perhaps I should look around. There are so many others in town I could visit.
I'm sure you don't want to do that.
And what are you going to do about it, if I do?
Trust me, I'll find a way to make you regret staying on this plane.
Speaking of regrets. And still in your sleep, still in your dreams, as you're having this conversation with a voice that is reverberating in your mind and sounds eerily like your own, you try and wake up. You know you're sleeping. You know this is a spirit messing with you. You've seen it before. You can just tell them to go. You've done it before. If only you could get yourself together, and you're thrown into another memory. Chaos. Fire. Energy that is born out of anger. You hear the voice of a woman. The last words she ever said to you. What were those words?
Why?
And then you wake. Sweating. Is it sweat? Or is it tears? In your room as the sun is trying its best to send its rays through to you. You have a shift later on that day, and you need to get yourself together. So while you do that, we are going to stop by Marcus's. How have you been sleeping, Marcus? How have you been doing?
Oh, following the heist, he probably got some more to drink and went into just one of his blackout stupors. Probably just took it to that point where it had been a rough couple days for Marcus. So,
did you make it back to your own place, or did you stay at the Bad Moon Rising bar?
he probably made it home. He probably left his bike and walked because he's a responsible 70s individual. But he would have stumbled his way home, and I don't even think he made it to his room. He probably passed out on the floor of the living room, but he got home and the door was closed, and that's what's important.
It's not like anyone asks where you get the bruises from, the scratches when you fall over on the way. It's not like anyone really asks why you have those dark circles under your eyes, because those that matter already know. And when you wake up with a sore neck, a sore shoulder, that it's not the first time you slipped on the floor. Did you fall against something? Did you fall on that shoulder again? It makes noises it shouldn't, but hey, you check, it's not broken. You hear clinking and clanking of empty bottles.
Who's there? We're not open yet.
The clinking and clanking gets louder, and you look up, you look around, your eyes adjusting to the dim light. It's Jake. Picking up all the empty bottles that are strewn across your apartment, throwing them into a recycling bin, very unceremoniously, very uncaring of the painful noise.
Oh, Jacob, you beautiful man. That's so noisy.
I know. One by one.
Oh, you're doing it on purpose then, to torture me.
Never to torture you, just to wake you up.
Alright, I'm awake. What time is it?
Time to get your shit together. You notice something, and you look at Jake. There is no clock above his head.
You're not Jacob, are you?
He smiles, and it's a familiar smile. Strange how, no matter how many forms he takes, shapes, he appears to you, that smile is always the same. A little bit sad, a little bit haughty, and a little bit kind. No, it's not Jake. Thought I'd stop by. See how you're doing. See how well you're using my gift.
I'm doing fine, but I had a concern, and I'm very glad that you've graced me with your presence. Perhaps you can enlighten me on what's going on. I don't make a habit of telling people when their clocks are running out, but we both know I can see when it is that they'll run out. And Jacob's clock has accelerated. I want to know why.
Has it now?
It has. It's not where it should be.
You know I cannot give you straight answers to your questions. That's not how this works, Marcus.
Well, don't give me a straight answer. Just give me something to go off of. Can it be set back? You don't need to tell me how.
Yes. I am
There's a...
death. I am not time. I am not certainty. When? I am certainty that
All right. That's a start then.
And Death in the form of Jake walks up to you, kneels down, and smiles. You care for this boy, don't you?
As I care for all of them. Maybe a tad more.
Oh, you care for them now? All of them. When did that start?
Fairly recent. They grow on you. Like fungus.
That they do. That they do. I know you don't think me kind or caring. I know you hate me. Why? Why? I have not harmed you. I have held you in my arms so many times, rocking you gently, and carefully setting you back down onto this world. And Jake turns into a woman, dark-skinned, eyes similar to yours. Your mother. You know it instinctively.
You shouldn't use that face with me.
I don't do it to taunt you. She cares still, as do I.
Is she doing well then?
In a manner of speaking.
In a manner of speaking. Are you just checking in then?
I believe it's your turn, no? You've been negligent of our game.
Where did we leave off? All right.
I believe you sank one of my smaller ones. And you, Death, in the form of your mother, heads to the table that is also covered in glass bottles. And there's a sheet of paper with your ships. She doesn't look, or they don't look. Here. F12.
F12. Miss.
Again.
Oh.
If you care for this boy, and care for him, no matter how much time he has left. In fact, the less time, the more you should care. Make it count. What use is prolonging life if you lock yourself into a dark room, into a dark mind, where the walls are made of whiskey?
It's hard to appreciate life when all I see is the death around me.
You're not
Guiding
looking
spirits.
properly, then.
B7.
Miss. There is hope for this boy, and there is hope for you. And with that smile that is sometimes infuriating, don't know what it does to you today. With that smile, death vanishes, slowly fading, dissipating.
Marcus will take a moment to reflect on all of that, sigh, and go about finishing the cleaning of the bottles that are around.
Eventually, the bottles are cleaned up, weeks worth of supply finally taken care of. Eventually, Naneshka has somewhat taken care of the dark circles under her eye, presentable enough to start her job at the Blood Moon Rising. And eventually, Anati and Sylvie return. You reconvene in the bar just after lunchtime.
was my
dear me.
coven.
Well, I don't know. There's something about today. It's just off.
You can say that again.
Yep.
And I just sort of look to the three of them individually and just sort of sit on a stool.
I got something.
And we'll say, I love y'all.
Love you too, TT.
Love you too, TT.
And then it's just gonna prepare one of those hangover cure
back.
drinks. What's it called? A hot toddy?
Ah. Yes.
Pour Marcus and pass it over.
You are a lifesaver.
I know.
You know, I hear it. Tomato juice tends to do well. Also, when I do not wish to be hungover, I will bowl of chicken noodle soup before I go to bed.
Yeah, but the only way to get this guy to drink something is to put alcohol in it.
Well, you could make it a
Well,
Bloody
that
Mary.
is what they invented. And Caesars, I hear Caesars are superior to Bloody Marys, according to a Canadian I once met in school.
Why are you such an adorable nerd? How did that happen?
And I will pull out my wallet and show pictures of my father as a child. It is hereditary.
And
It sure
Anati will
is.
just head on the bar, just smiling as wide as possible as Sylvie no doubt goes on an overly technical, wordy story about the
Yes.
theoretics
Genes.
of genealogy. Yes.
However, I have something concerning to speak about. This. I did not
That's a cat.
give my... Yes, it is a cat. I did not give Granny this cat. I do not know who gave Granny this cat. Hello, cat. But I have suspicions that it was Madeline.
That is concerning.
There's a blessing on it that I have not deciphered. I was hoping that it does not go past the bar. We do not bring it into town, but I was hoping that the three of you could possibly help me with this cat.
Yeah.
Of course.
What do you need? Why would Madeline give your grandmother a blessing?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, she is still her grandma, even if Madeline's not
Her life work
the.
is to kill people like her grandmother.
But but yeah.
It's a bit messed up to kill your grandmother.
Family trees are, especially mine, is complicated. It is definitely complicated considering my entire life. I've avoided talking about that side of the family. And all I knew of Madeline, other than who she was and how she looked when pointed out to me when we were not in this town, was that she was a cousin on my mother's side, though that has connotations that I just assumed meant Illuminati. Either way, it is concerning. There's even a cactus on this cat, guys. That's in character.
Well, we can try and, I don't know, trace it back. Do a little bit of our magical abilities to track this bitch down.
It would not be difficult to track her down. She is located in Salt Lake City normally. It's more of her intention that I am concerned about.
I think one of my
With my
more
grandmother.
severe leaning spells could help guide that out.
And the cat.
It depends on how loosely the guide will allow me to interpret the exact wording of this, but I have a crone spell that allows me to reveal the source of an institution or organization's power, the source of its corruption, as well as the best way to reach the source and destroy it. Could I focus that on this statue rather than an institution or organization and find the source of the blessing and the best way to reach and or destroy it?
I think that could work, yes.
It's a crone spell.
Is it part of the AJ? Hold on.
Yes, it is the divination.
There.
Of the
Divination
aspect
spell.
of the crone.
Yeah. To reach the source and destroy it. Absolutely. You...
Now, I will say I didn't exactly wake up feeling, you know, this is one of my more mean spells, and I didn't really wake up feeling that way. But I'll see what I can do,
Mm-hmm.
I can help you.
and
Punch
I'll
you and make
start.
You
you
can-
angry.
You can spend
I'll
a
start-
charm if you want
Okay.
to make this an immediate success and get everything you want and take control. You do have that roll for wheel as well. The little blue die. Thank you for that donation. Of course, if any of you guys in chat, by the way, I just saw we reached that 20 retweet goal. Thank you very much. If anyone wants to help with donations to the cast for roles like that, you can do so just here. But yeah, you can. I would say you will, because it's a crone spell and Anati is not exactly in a crone mood in general. You would roll at woe, but with that wheel, you can even it out, or you can spend a charm to make it happen.
I'll even it out, and Anati's gonna start gathering all the things she needs for the spell, and then stand in the middle of the bar and says, "I also, for this to work, I need someone to give me just a little smooch, just a small one, peck on the cheek."
And it's just gonna go to Anati and just do that really big face squish smoosh on the cheek.
Okay, that I didn't need that for the spell, but it did make me feel better. Okay, let's see what I got here. Oh, that did make me feel better. That is going to be an 11.
Wonderful.
Nice.
I'll tell you something because obviously you can't know that, but then the rest you can take over and you can tell me how it continues from there because you got that, by the way. For that you can take an experience in Crone as well.
Wonderful.
Tell me how that spell looks. Tell me what exactly you're looking for and how you're opening this spell up and this object.
Anati is going to go into her pocket, and she's going to pull out a couple of roses, but she will take the bulbs off and just use the stems, which she curls into a circle around the actual statue itself. And then she takes her glasses and she will put them on, and the lenses will start to sort of reflect almost like light around the statue. And then outside of that, it's just hands over it in a clockwise motion and just murmuring in a bit of chanting before the spell takes hold and the glasses completely gloss over with light and her eyes are not visible.
And your eyes are opened to the object that is, in its essence, just that. A wood-carved cat. But then around the object, the light takes the shape from the object, the various outlines of a hand, fingers, carving. Almost like slowly turning back time as the cat is being made. Those light outlines grow up, further up and up the arms, to a torso, legs, to a face. The face of a woman you saw before in the labs, standing around the bones. She is carving that cat herself. She is humming, and every sound, it's beautiful. It's like light rippling from her. There is care. There is love. There is all the goodwill a person has when they make something for another person. And there is magic in that love. A blessing. You know through your spell that this is the magic within that object that Sylvie felt a witch making something for someone else, whether they intend to or not. There is always magic in that.
Right. I think Anati has also started just absent-mindedly humming the song in pace with the voice. Is that the end of the vision?
Yes. Unless you want to go somewhere else specifically, you did roll a wonderful success. You can get some extra, but let me know what you're looking for.
I want to. I'm very familiar with Sylvie's aura, with Sylvie's feel, and obviously with my mentor's feel.
Aoife.
I want to feel out if because I'm assuming there's a common thread between the two of them just from relation, since magic is so heavily tied to family. I want to feel for that thread, that recognizable sort of intangible feel that I get from the both of them. I want to feel for that.
You'll feel that thread in the sense that the light has a similar warmth, has a similar color, has a similar feel to it. And more so, you notice that your senses are growing stronger, reaching out beyond that object in front of you, beyond Sylvie even. You look around and it's strange. For a second there is a surge. As you see dots of light far away, far away. You look one direction and there's a light growing closer, moving towards you. There's a light in the other direction, and in the other. One of which is familiar to you. Reminds you of Aoife, your mentor, Sylvie's grandmother. You're not entirely sure what the other two mean.
I'll bring myself out of the vision, and I'll say, well, it's a blessing. It's nothing nefarious from what I can tell, and it certainly comes from someone related to both you and Aoife. So I think you're spot on, thinking it's an alias and such. But Sylvie, this was made with love, darling. There's no malice behind this. Maybe she just missed her grandma.
Sylvie doesn't say anything. She's just lost in her own thoughts in that moment. There's a lot going through her head right now because of the incident, because of how her family has operated, what she's been told and not told. Just, she leaves the cat there and she stands up. I need to go to my workshop. when it's time to go, when it's Tuesday, find me. Is it Tuesday?
It's Monday.
Come, I will see you later when we have to clean.
Well, that went about how I thought it.
Can't be easy on her.
I wouldn't be happy about finding out something like that either.
It's kind of fucked up, to be honest. A witch hunting their own.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just the way that Aoife is or was. I mean, y'all remember. She always had quality to her. I mean, she was mean. Trust me. She could be real mean. And, but I don't know. Is it so crazy to think that maybe she just missed her? Is that?
It's wishful thinking.
I mean, the proof is right there, to be honest. If she didn't have good intentions, it would have shown, you know? It wouldn't be a blessing, it'd be a curse. But, it just complicates the things more.
So, I think we should do what we always do. Hope for the best and prepare for the worst.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what we're good at.
There's no harm in hoping for good intentions. May even prove us wrong.
Well, I don't think she'll have any bad intentions towards wifey, but when we find out who did what they did to them.
Yeah. Now, I didn't say she had good intentions towards us. That is definitely a lie.
I fucking body checked her into a wall.
Yeah.
Maybe she's trying to protect her from collateral damage.
Hopefully.
Maybe.
Fingers crossed.
So, who are we talking about here? I heard a lot of she. You hear the voice of Toddy in your minds, a spirit that you haven't seen in a while, but stops by every now and then in the bar to find out what's happening. A spirit that is quite surprisingly able to move through the whole town. Someone who during her life was always well beloved, and a little bit of the town gossip. You know her. You have probably got some good and some bad intel from her throughout the years, but she too is someone who has managed to kind of weasel out of being moved on into the next world for a good decade now.
Dotty.
Nanny. I heard a
Toddy,
name.
how the hell are you?
I am wonderful. How are you? You seem very dour.
That's normal.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't catch that, Nanny. What was that?
You're also a bit gossip.
I am shocked at this accusation.
Hmm? Yep.
Come on, please tell me. What are we talking about?
We're talking about somebody important. If you must know, I don't know if you remember Afa, but
Of course I remember
she's
Ava.
she's got a new visitor, and we're trying to pin down exactly who the kind soul might be.
So she's still in that horrible nursing home, huh?
I don't like it either, but you know, Nanny
I just don't
insisted.
understand why she would have her magic taken away. She was wonderful. She was magnificent. Have you ever seen her in her full when she just messed some? Yes.
She did it out of care.
I know. It's not my decision to make. It's hers, but I told her, I said, you can just magic it away. You can always magic it away. They always did, somehow magic things away.
Alas, our power is
Yeah,
not world-changing always.
Well, you don't have to change the world. You just have to change the fate of one person sometimes. That's enough. Just... Alright, so what's going on? Why are we all so sad? What's this about? What's that? And you see the cat statue lifted by translucent fingers.
that is something that I think I'm gonna have to return. And
Looks like
I don't
Reeves.
know how well that's gonna go over with Sylvie.
How does she know what Reeves looks like? Not you, Toddy. I know you know, but the person that made it.
Well, if she is who we think she is, then she would know about Reeves the same way Sylvie knows about Reeves. Right? I mean, it's a familial spirit of theirs, so maybe Reeves has been visiting her too. Man, I don't think Sylvie's going to be very happy with my idea, but this was made by hand, and it was intended for Afa. I gotta give it back.
Listen, you checked it out. You know what went into it when it was made. Just, we are aware that it's not bad or hurting Afa, so I think Sylvie will be okay with it. Just tell her.
Right. I think maybe give her a little more time to process, since I have been so gently reminded by so many of you so frequently that I can be a bit overbearing, apparently.
Yeah. But we know it's with love.
All right. Well, I better go get my things in order for the show in the morning.
Come on, Daddy. I got some gossip about the baking competition.
Ooh. I wish I could still take part of that. I would wipe the floor with both of them.
It's
Yummy,
some juicy
yummy.
gossip. You'll enjoy it.
And as Dottie is trying her best to liven up the situation by being her wonderful self, we quickly head over to Sylvie to see how she's been faring. On the way out of the Bad Moon Rising, you feel a weight on your shoulder. First 2 paws, then 4. As Reeves every now and then Feels like being a shoulder cat. You turn around and you can't see anything, but you feel them, balancing quite easily while you walk.
Hello, cat.
You hear purring.
Lots of questions. Few answers. Do you think you could help?
Help me out real quick. Did Reeves talk before? Have we ever
I think
had Reeves
can
talk?
Yeah, we did. He was sort of. I imagine that he can. He didn't necessarily, when we first met him last episode, didn't have like an opportunity for it because he saved our butts.
Yeah.
So it's up to you if you want Reeves to talk or not.
I think Reeves is the type of catchy who only talks when they feel like it, and when it's absolutely necessary. Right now, you get the sensation, oh, they're listening.
Mm-hmm. Have you, since Granny has moved, have you gone to see her?
You hear a purring voice. My obligation is to the family. She is family.
How many family members do you visit other than she and I?
Why, all of them, of course.
So you see Madeline.
I do.
Do you know her intention when it comes to Granny?
I do not. Human intentions are of no consequence.
Not to you, anyway.
Well, what else is there that matters?
Actions.
Yes.
Reeves. What do I not know? What was kept from me by Granny? I am confused when it comes to the other side of the family.
Your first mistake is to think that there is another side of the family. This or that, here or there, good and bad. No such thing.
It is always presented as the other side. What else am I supposed to think?
Whatever you want. As does she. Who is right? Who is to say?
Okay. And I will go back to my office or my workshop, and I will open my phone book desk And I will pull out the Utah phone book desk.
Mhm.
And I will look up Madeline Ducote in Utah.
You find Madeline Ducote.
Mhm.
You find her not just as an individual, as a private, but as someone
Mhm.
who supposedly works for a law firm. You find the Esquire by her name.
Okay. I'm gonna call that number. With my landline, of course, because
Yeah. I'm trying to think. We're in the 1970s. Hold on. What can I say?
Mhm.
You call the landline and you get a secretary. Hunter and Ducote, how can I help?
Yes, I'd like to speak to Madeline Ducote, please.
Is there an appointment? A name I can forward?
It's a family matter. Tell her it's from the other side.
Okay. Any name I should forward? Any number she could give you a call back on?
This number, and I recite my phone number.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give my name, like my first. Just also Ducote. Mhm.
I will do so right away. She hangs up. You get the sensation that she was a little bit confused by this, but she
Mhm.
will pass it
Yeah,
on
it's a
nonetheless. She
secretary.
seemed somewhat, yeah, she sort of seemed, all right, not my problem enough to get that. You do not immediately get a call back, however, and not that
Mhm.
day.
Yeah.
In fact, it is Tuesday when we all reconvene. And someone has an appointment to keep and a promise to keep, I believe.
Yep.
What is a promise, really?
One you make very, very easily.
Yeah.
I'm not judging.
Anati will get up, and Anati is probably the loudest person complaining about it being early and
If you
cleaning.
didn't want to do this, you shouldn't have promised it so early. Listen, I'm not happy it's early either. I should be sleeping for like 4 more hours. Or trying to, at least.
I specifically don't have the show on Tuesdays because it's too damn early. All right, I'm awake. I'm up. All right. Sylvie, you're muted.
Sylvie just makes the comment. It's like, but being up in the morning means that the temperature is cooler and thus nicer. You missed the best part of the day.
We'll all agree to disagree.
The best part of the day is when I'm not conscious. Well, it used to be.
All right. I would have to begin making our way to Peno's property.
And I will have with me, because I don't trust any of you with a skeleton, like, I will have with me the werewolf skeleton to, like, properly in like a small wooden crate, like a box, to bring back to our werewolf friend.
Sylvie, I find the lack of trust quite hurtful. I work with dead bodies all the time. I don't know what you're talking about.
You wanted to destroy it.
It was only a suggestion. You don't have to hold it against me.
I will. And I will, like, walk forward. Like, I mean, first of all, I think I'm the tallest one here, so my gait is just naturally puts me ahead of everyone else. Like,
Sylvie strides with purpose. And Pino is
striding with purpose.
Sitting on his porch, having breakfast. Bacon. Mostly bacon. 1 egg in there, just, for more alibi than anything else. Just eating. Looking as scruffy as he always does. He's handsome in this sort of Aragon dirty kind of way. If you brushed him and bathed him, he wouldn't be anymore. That's just my executive sort of decision right here.
Hold up a second. Bonk.
I'm gonna suffer with you, I've decided. So here we are.
Anati is going to do a complete 360 from being tired. As soon as they walk in the door, Anati goes, "Good morning."
So
Morning.
That's all it takes.
Mm-hmm.
So, you made me breakfast. That was very sweet of you.
I just got up.
Me too. And I'll sit
think there's-
on the table.
Okay, aren't you here to work?
Oh yeah, I almost forgot about that part. But let's catch up. How are you? How'd you sleep?
Well, shit as always.
Right. You know, if you actually slept in a bed, you probably would sleep better.
The couch is just fine.
Alright, I'm just saying, I have some vacancies, and I will take something off of his plate and eat it.
And he looks at an empty spot on his plate as if he can't quite believe that you actually just did that. But then he can believe it because he met you.
Mm-hmm.
Puts the plate down. Help yourselves. And leans back.
I know. I always leave him speechless. It's one of my many talents. But I don't have time to sit here and talk to you all day. I have work that I have to get done. And I have enlisted the help of my lovely coven mates to make sure it gets done quickly. Is there anything in particular you don't want us to touch, leave alone, anything like that?
Would that stop you?
Depends on what it is. I respect boundaries.
Nah, you good.
Not all of them.
Haven't really touched the yard in ages. There might be a couple of carcasses still around, just bones at this point, but
Bones, Sylvie. Can you have a...
You just kind of see Sylvie standing there, like, a little stiff, not in, like, the way that she's usually stiff, but in the fact that she is just, looking at Pino, and, Bones, and just like holds out the box like straight at him, like a little flushed.
You know, that's kind of offensive, right? What do you want me to do? Chew on them?
No, they're your people.
What?
Hey, no.
And these happen to we.
What's Sylvie trying to say? We recovered some werewolf bones from a lab, and we were wondering if there was a specific sort of burial process, anything respectful that we should do with them. And with that, we might ask you, since we're coming here anyway, right, Sylvie? And she like pats her on the back.
Yes,
Much more elegantly
they
put.
were burned.
Burned.
Burned, not fossils. Burned. Do you know about? Do you know about? Has any family member been in a fire lately?
Anati just lets her stumble.
I don't know if that's Lydia or the character.
Yes.
Yes.
They can burn in hell for all I care. I don't know. But we usually don't burn our dead. In fact, we usually don't die in that form. How much do you kids know about werewolf?
Not as much as I would like to.
I heard
Alright.
Sylvie's very knowledgeable about werewolf anatomy.
Anati just looks over at Sylvie and goes, and continues eating off of Pano's plate.
He grins, and it's a genuine smile at this point. He didn't quite expect that comment. Right.
So, you don't want these?
I'll have a look, but... And he fishes in very unceremoniously and takes up various pieces. Like...
The Illuminati wanted them, though.
Well, fuck those assholes.
Agreed.
I body checked one into a wall. It was fun.
We did
Hey.
fuck them up for those.
It's like a fist
bows.
bump. It was not a fist bump to Pano.
He claps you on the shoulder as well, and it's a fairly strong clap. Like, Naneshka's buff, but you can feel that. Right. Well, I'm what you would consider an odd one out. I know, sunny disposition. That's, it fools a lot of people. Werewolves don't leave the pack. Lone wolves don't survive. We're family. We do not have a mind of our own. That was my biggest problem. Because I do. But it's very rare that a werewolf dies in wolf form. Unless it's during a fight, battle, turf war, something like that. But we don't leave the pack to die lonely in the forest. It's a family thing. And you feel your time's come, you say goodbye.
It wasn't found in a forest. It was found in a cave. It was put in a cave. It was meant to be found. That is what is concerning.
I'm not sure that's the case. If it's in a cave, that's where they would hide. We've had...
No, paleontology. There was a dig that was there already. It was meant to be found in a dig.
I will say that might have been a misunderstanding. Like what Courtney specifically
Okay.
mentioned is there was a cave-in that freed up a new area. Like it wasn't put there to be found.
Okay.
They stumbled upon it.
Oh. Okay. Rewind.
For a second, my GM brain was like, maybe it was, but no.
Yeah. Rewind. It wasn't found in a forest. It went in a cave-in. Paleontologist picked it up. There were no fires there. It was put there. Maybe hidden there. Why would werewolves do that? Why would anyone do that?
Murder.
Oh, beats me. Ooh, V, hello. Thanks for the raid. You're just coming in time for werewolf discussions and how werewolves die and how pack stuff works. Hi, everyone. Hello, raiders. I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful stream. Hey. Ooh,
Can Anatu whisper something to Pano?
Absolutely.
I'm gonna DM it to you. It's not appropriate for TOS.
Oh, it's not appropriate.
Oh,
Holy shit. Okay.
Oh
Okay. Now I'm curious.
Oh my god.
I'm curious.
Pano
I want
is...
to know.
I know. I'm still waiting for it. Basically, Pano, you can see him taking an interest now. You've mentioned the bones hidden and found by human paleontologists. You've kind of piqued his interest, and his interest is hard to pique because, I mean, that's who he is as a person, little grumpy bastard.
Mm-hmm.
But he looks at the bones now with a little bit more interest. He's looking for something to understand why this person was where they were. He touches the charred parts of the skull. He puts the skull pieces together. It's quite big. Hold on, do you have a claw? Is there a claw?
There wasn't a claw, right? It was a skull and some femurs, right?
I think the foot, I think, was there. He picks it up.
Okay, yeah.
And you see his own hand transforming. He's sweating a little bit. He's willing himself to not go much further than that. And those claws come out large, but nowhere near as large as the claw from that skeleton.
Nanesha kind of elbow Sylvie secretly.
That could be an elder.
Why are you elbowing me?
Sorry, it's a twitch.
You should get that looked at by a neurologist.
Nah, I'm fine. But yeah, an elder. Sorry,
Okay.
Pano. What were you saying?
An elder is powerful. Bit like your friend Cassius. Special perks. Bigger. Stronger.
Ball. All those balls.
I'm not catching that reference. We don't do the alpha bullshit. It infuriates me just thinking about it. Our family. But we do have some members of the family who have seniority. We have those that were born, not made. Stronger, bigger, more powerful. We call them elders. We respect them. We follow their lead. We do not let them die alone. In this form. That's not a wolf that left the pack voluntarily.
Then this was probably murder, right?
Concerning.
I think
What could even take out one of y'all that's that big, though?
magic. Hell, sometimes even those modern weapons people have these days.
If you'd like, I could find out. At least get a guess.
We might be able to find more answers as well if we find the rest of the skeleton.
I could try talking to it now. Maybe there's some residual spirit within the bones.
Oh, yes. True.
Any help?
Yes, of course, Naneshka. You and I together, we might be able to pull something. And specifically, going to do the mother divination, commune with the dead, with the ability to understand what they want or need, even if they don't know it themselves, and provide guidance for them. So kind of just like pull up the spirit, being like, hey, what happened to you?
This is
Hey,
when
buddy.
Anatu whispers to Payno, and I DM'd you on Discord.
I mean, that's entirely more tame than I expected, D, and I'm slightly disappointed.
I toned it back.
Yeah.
I toned it back.
I
I'm not
know,
referring to
as
myself.
It wasn't naughty enough
Do you wanna
for her.
Yeah. Do you want to say it out loud? Because it's not TS problem.
Sure.
Like,
I'll whisper over to Payno, point looking and making sure he's paying attention to Sylvie, and say, you know, she needs some time off if you want her to get more acquainted with werewolf behavior. Show her a thing or two.
you're being mighty inappropriate, Anati.
That is
that's
completely false. No. What? Well, I never.
He looks stern for a second, and then when you do, I never, he just turns away with a sly grin on his face, but still slightly hard to read how exactly that should be interpreted. Well, if you want to do your... I can watch, I can help you interpret whatever you see. It's not right, this.
All right.
I mean, then more of an incentive to figure out what the fuck happened, especially if the Illuminati are after this.
All right. What kind of spell are you wanting to prepare? What do you want to do with this?
So this will be a mother divination.
Hecate, divination. All right. Now, I will say you've been feeling quite protective, generally, of Jake, but in this case, because it's been on your mind, I don't think I'll have you roll at Whoa.
Okay.
This is something you've been doing. You're quite experienced in it. And you have help as well. So, let me know how exactly you prepare this ritual. It will be, because it is a person, because it is not the spirit itself, you don't know the spirit. It will be requiring a little bit of time, a little bit of preparation, and some objects other than the bones. How are you setting the scene for this? If you want to take over the narration for it, and of course,
I think
Naneshka can help as well with that.
Yeah, I think with Naneshka helping, we pull out just our usual Hecate stuff, make a nice little ritual circle, put the bones in it. Probably would ask Pino to get us some objects that would be important to werewolf culture that could help draw the spirit in as well. And we could just do it out here on the porch while Anati and Sylvie do their yard work so that they don't get out of doing their work. But just out in the nature element of it, just, on the back porch there, draw a little circle and get this ritual going.
I think Naneshka would offer to help when the spirit comes, to help anchor it, because it's not a spirit that's stuck around. I like the idea of her allowing, like, holding the skull and allowing the spirit to almost possess her, to speak through her, to help it anchor it to the world.
All right. I like that idea. So you prepare the circle. It's odd, considering it's bright daylight. And Anati and Sylvie are starting on the yard while you get everything together, while you head back to get some of the special blessed chalk, while you get some of the herbs of the garden that are connected with the idea of trance. Get some foxglove. You get some hemlock, not to eat, just to put on the circle. You mix it with the chalk. You create a portal, if you will, to that other world. The bones placed in the center. Pino is transforming his hand again. Takes hair, rips out a bushel of his own fur and scatters it over the circle. A drop of blood onto the skull. If you get possessed by this elder, be careful. You might jump onto the chance to not be dead anymore. Being powerful is a hell of a drug.
Then you knock me the fuck out.
That's the spirit.
He's just certain you're up for this, Naneshka. You don't have to take it in.
No, but it's the most solid anchor I can think of to get the answers to the questions we need. This clearly goes deeper than we thought.
All right. We'll be
Naneshka will take
ready.
the skull. Mm-hmm. And where Pano put the drop of blood on the skull, she'll kind of smear it on it and then smear it on herself to kind of connect it, and sit inside the circle with the skull in her lap, cross-legged.
All right. Roll me the spell. It's just straight roll.
Okay. Under Mother, it gives me a +1, so I have 11.
That is a full success. So, you have the option here at any point to take over the narrative if you have an idea that you want to add. And I'm going to say both for Naneshka and Marcus, please do so, especially with this success. The spell takes hold of you immediately, faster even than you'd think, almost as if the spirit of this being was lingering around its remnants, waiting for an opportunity like that. You are not even finished, you've not even finished the incantation, Marcus. You're barely there when Naneshka is going rigid, absolutely stiff. Her muscles clenched, you can see her neck bulging. She seemingly starts to grow before you. Bigger. More muscular. And she grins. Her teeth slightly elongated. Her eyes still closed, but that smile almost snarling. And then she opens her eyes and they are bright ember. Naneshka, you feel that presence, and it is, at first, overwhelming. As prepared as you were, for a second you lose yourself to it, and it takes over your physical form. About time. Who are you? You're not part of the pack.
Not part of your pack, no. We're a coven that found your bones. You've been gone for a long time. We were wondering if you could give us some insight into what happened to you.
Betrayal. Betrayal of a coward. A runt.
How did a runt get the upper hand on an elder?
By denying everything we stand for. Aligning themselves with them, the hunters.
So betrayed from within and killed by hunters. Do you know where your pack has gone? I know it's been centuries for you.
You see Naneshka lift her head, sniffing the air, and looking around, taking in the surroundings as if it's the first time she's seeing them. And you know that it's not Naneshka. There is a look of confusion that quickly turns into a growling snarl of displeasure. Centuries. They failed me then. You are not of the pack, are you?
No. No, we're not.
And Pino steps forward. This is a boon. the boon for the 20 retweets, because Pino is not someone who gets involved. And you see him, possibly for the first time in broad daylight, if anything, go into a full hybrid werewolf shape. He is growing in size. He is tall and he is strong. But there is something to the way that he carries himself that demands respect. They are not of your pack, but they are kin. More loyal than that traitor of yours. And you see the elder consider those words carefully. Why did you bring me back then?
We were hoping for answers. We went to great pains to recover your body. More curiosity than anything.
Naneshka, do you happen to have a knife on you? You seem like a knife person.
Oh yeah.
Out of the boot. You seem like a boot knife person, if that's okay with you. Yeah. And with a very quick hand motion, Naneshka draws a knife. And before you have time to react, slams that knife into the ground, into the wooden porch, and draws a symbol of the Illuminati. Fear the hunters. They will not rest until we are no more.
So, the Illuminati were hoping to get their hands back on your body, and they're the ones involved. It clarifies our suspicions. Marcus is going to look out to the field. Any questions for the elder?
Yeah. Does he know how to trim grass? Just.
I'm not
continue
letting
to
it
go
out
through
of the
Sylvie, you're
circle.
muted. Sylvie, you're muted, by the way.
Yeah, I got it. Sorry. We should know the name of the traitor.
What's the name of this runt?
Alistair. All of you roll
Family
me an
name?
awareness check.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna be Alistair Crowley.
I have a 9.
I have an 8.
Can I use my boon that I have, the little blue dice?
I will say, Naneshka, you're so fucking busy with not losing it to this dude in your brain
Yeah.
that I'm gonna say you can, but is it really worth it?
I will forego this roll then, as I'm trying to not let this elder overtake my body completely.
That is a 14.
I feel like you can start seeing her sweat.
14, my god.
Double sixes plus 2.
All right, with that success, I will say that Anati, just using those seconds to go about trimming grass, your smile kind of freezes as you notice that Pino flinches at a mention of this name.
Somebody you recognize?
Somebody any werewolf in this land would recognize. You might want to cut this one out. I'll tell you everything I know.
All right. Elder, thank you for your time. Going to need that body back. Marcus isn't going to wait for a response. Oh, sorry.
Roll me an enforce will.
Okay, 1 second. Okay. Not good. That's a 3.
That's a 3. Ooh, interesting.
I would use my boot, but I want to see what happens.
Yeah, you might want to use it for this one.
Okay. Do I roll an extra dice and take the...
Yeah, take the 2
Or do it-
highest.
Okay.
Normally, I'm not going to allow that to... Yeah, you should have basically called that at the beginning, but because I discouraged you from earlier, you might have thought you weren't allowed to, so I'll let it happen.
That's a 10.
That's a 10. When Marcus cuts the spell and tries to remove the spirit, you can still feel it right there holding on to you. And Marcus, you're not sure what's happening. You did everything right. You feel claws on your skin, Aneshka, as the spirit refuses to be dragged away, to be condemned to nothingness and oblivion. How do you enforce your will? How do you get rid of him anyway?
I think you would see there's like a strained scream coming from her. And I think visually you see eyes flickering from that amber back to her own darker eyes. And in a moment of being able to control at least one body part, she takes the knife that is on the porch and just stabs her own thigh.
Power move, I can respect that.
If she can feel it, she thinks they can feel it.
That's metal as fuck.
The knife is glistening as it flies through the air, and as you cut across your own skin. And that flicker of light for a moment is the same magic that was glowing as the ritual was cast. The will of Hecate. And with the knife piercing your own skin, you, in a blurred vision, it's like you take it and you stab it into the chest of a creature larger and more terrifying looking than Pino. But you do it anyway. And it looks confused. It smiles an unbelieving smile. And then it bows its head. All right, little one. And leaves.
She smiles
Anati
back
will
at it.
immediately rush over, go, ay!
There is blood. There is a lot of blood as you cut a deep flesh wound into your own thigh.
There's a knife in my
An
thigh.
immediate, like, I do have the aspect of the mother, so I want to just, like, immediate healing magic.
There's a knife in my thigh. Oh god.
You've exercised the elder.
What in the Sam
You
Hill is
should
wrong
not
with
have
you?
done that.
I'm sorry,
Yes,
were
severed
you
it
the one
honorably.
possessed by an elder spirit that wouldn't let go? Yeah, I didn't think so.
It was good, quick thinking, Naneshka.
Oh god, that was a scary motherfucker.
Let's
That-
get it patched up.
As I'm performing
Pino-
the healing go ahead, sorry.
No, you go.
As I'm preparing the healing magic, I will present one wrist for Naneshka to bite down on as I grip the handle of the knife and go, I'm gonna do it on 3.
She's actually gonna I feel like she had a rag with her to clean stuff, so she's just gonna, I don't want to bite you, TT.
Sure.
And she's
sure.
just gonna like bundle up and like bite it.
Yeah, and I 3, 2, 1, and pull the knife out and immediately start just healing with both hands as best as she can.
Yeah. I'm not going to let you roll for that because the healing itself is magic that is quite natural to Anati. So I have absolutely no doubt with especially with some time given you can do that and you're in no rush right now. The Pino is slowly sauntering backwards, shaking his head. As he walks away, he turns back into his human form. Comes back with first aid things. Do y'all still need that, or
Now, when
is
he
the
transformed,
taking care of it?
what level of damage to Pino's clothing happened here during this transformation? You said he got bigger.
Is he
I
shirtless?
did the knife. He's shirtless. I imagine him in human form, not actually that buff. He's a little bit scrawny looking, just tall.
So this is
And a
like
bit
Hulk,
sinewy.
so like everything breaks but his pants.
Well, he wears stretchy pants.
For TOS sake. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. No, he was naked. He doesn't give a fuck. Pino does not give a fuck.
There we go.
He just sauntered off, all freeballing.
Yep.
He comes back with pants on, it's just sweatpants basically, because human decency, I guess. But you still need that.
No, she's gonna take the bloody knife, wipe it on her pants, and put it back in her boot. Hope that was fucking worth it.
Gained a bit of
I'd say so.
insight.
Did Aoife ever tell you why I'm here?
I don't think so. Out of characterly, has she? I'm assuming not.
No.
Yeah. No, she's not. You were just here.
I didn't exactly leave my pack voluntarily. They align themselves with the Hunters. That's what we call them. We call the Illuminati. I did not agree with that. But as a family, well, the elders decide. I was no one.
So is he part of your pack then?
Not my pack. He's risen through the ranks. Like 200 years ago, he made that call. All packs, some packs, have followed. Sooner or later, they all will. That's what he says. Be
So
the
he
hunter or
helped
be
set the
hunted.
groundwork.
This Alistar, he is trying to gather all of the packs to align them with the Illuminati.
Be the hunter or be hunted. That's his motto. It does not suit us to hide away. We are proud hunters. We are apex predators. We're not to hide in the shadow of humans. That's basically it.
Once the Illuminati get rid of the rest of us, they'll turn on them next.
That's what I'm thinking. He's... I don't know, I kind of stopped following that whole bullshit, but he's part of their upper management now. Powerful, influential.
An upper management of the Illuminati. This just keeps getting fucking better and better now, doesn't it?
And now we need to find out why they're here, causing so much trouble.
How are not turning against each other?
I mean, I find it actually quite obvious, don't you? If he was the leader, the one that Alistar betrayed, but if he got his ranking from murder, if he got away with murder, and the other packs found out, they probably wouldn't be so quick to follow him. Am I incorrect, Plano?
That depends. Some have always mistrusted him, just given what he stands for. But do you think a seance is proof for the packs?
Possibly not, but maybe not magic. And it only brings me to my point from earlier. We need to find the whole skeleton. We need to examine it. We need to see how he was killed and find a way to prove that it was Alistar. You cannot deny physical evidence.
We can find out
The
how they
science is
died.
correct.
We can't figure out who did it.
Of course you can. If it was a fight, if he was bitten and those impressions are left on the bone and those impressions match his murderer, then yes. Of course, we have to figure out how to get the werewolf's impressions, but the skeleton should be found first. There is proof, evidence.
I think that if Alistair is an upper management of the Illuminati, he's the one with
Yes.
the most to gain to get this skeleton back. And I'm going to assume the two Illuminati that were sent to get the skeleton back are working on his behalf. So,
Yes.
find those two, you can get some information.
This sounds like the team will be splitting up
We don't need to
for
confront
two
them.
different missions.
We can
Because the
just
faster we...
go ahead.
So here's what's happening. The idea that you think Sylvie's idea is a bad idea is not crossing her mind. Or it's like you would not have the audacity to think otherwise. That's in her brain.
I'm not saying that you're wrong, Sylvie. I'm saying that we could also get some paperwork, some paper trail.
Yes, of
Out of
course.
the
The
office.
more evidence, the better. Of course. Of course.
We might want
Of
to
course.
try that, all of us together
Okay.
first. I mean, group vote. I'm not in charge here. This is a coven decision.
I think it's probably a better idea to get Nanny to. Nanny's idea is I think we should just do hers first. Is all. And then we can.
Remains could
then
be
we can,
compromised the more they're exposed to weather or other.
Well,
And then
yeah, but
after the other
haven't they already
skeleton has
been-
gone missing, more compromisation. And then after the other bones have gone missing, I would only assume that the scientists that found it originally would now, even more importantly, look for more evidence.
I mean,
That's just how we work. It's
I
a
don't
race
disagree
against
with
the
that,
clock, I
but-
believe.
the bones are already multiple hundreds of years old, right? So I think a little more aging and weather on them would change the findings too much.
We don't know the half-life of werewolf DNA yet. That hasn't been discussed. So, she is visibly like, how can you not get it? She doesn't understand how you cannot get it. It's like normies.
Sylvie, I get how important it is. I do. But we could also find more information about the bones and the whereabouts through these two.
They didn't know.
What?
That's why they went to the. That's why
Weren't
they
they
went
the lawyers
to the
that your
museum.
weren't they the lawyers that your doctor had contacted for this?
Yes, but he didn't. I don't think he told them where they were.
It's possible that he did.
All the more reason to go faster.
We don't know where the dig site is. They do. They might know. We go
I do
in.
know where the dig
Never-
site is.
Not for the
It's
second
Hell
set of
Creek.
bones. We
If
know where the
bones
dig
are
site is for what we
separate from
already
each other.
have.
That's what I'm saying. The bones wouldn't be separated if they are separated. If they were all jumped spontaneously, it wasn't 200 something years ago. Why would you even think of dumping it in several different places? Of course, it is most likely dumped in the same site. I need a minute.
Are you sure this
I do not
doesn't have?
understand any of you. I don't understand any
And
of you. Like, paperwork does not have a half-life.
And you're sure that this doesn't have anything to do with not wanting to speak to a certain someone?
Absolutely has nothing. I left her a message to call me earlier yesterday. I, in fact, do want to speak with her. What?
Okay, I guess we're just straight up calling the Illuminati now to leave a message to have a afternoon tea. I don't.
There is a
Do
truce. She
we
cannot come
do
in
we know that
Seer's
the
rest.
objects were missing from the heist?
That was a question for the guide, I believe.
Yeah,
Sorry, which objects?
the shoe and stuff, because it was
I mean,
noted on the
You
like
saw that.
has it been addressed? I guess.
If I don't know if Anati told you that she lost her shoe, you did notice Lanishka bleeding, but I don't know if you put two and two together that
Oh.
could lead back to you guys.
Anati would have been complaining about missing one of her favorite pair of flats the whole ride back to the town.
I feel like if we mention those things now, I think putting two and two together that A, Madeline's a witch, and B, we left optics of ourselves there. Yeah, they're gonna know it was us. And I don't think the treaty that we have currently is on solid ground to stand.
So
I seem to be outvoted very well. But if anything happens to the bones, I will hold you all personally responsible.
Why do we need to do anything
Yeah.
to the bones? So we can just keep them at the Bad Moon for safekeeping.
Before we find them, because we are doing the other things first. That's what I meant, Mark.
Right. Well, while you
But
two...
let it.
Yeah.
Let the record show I believe that this is a bad idea, and that you are wrong. And she's gonna leave without doing any chores.
Oh no.
You leave your friends, your coven, one of them with a sore, very, very sore thigh.
That's your fault.
Anati and Marco slightly worried, looks on their faces. You leave them behind. Pino has been watching from the shadows. And you head home to your workshop
Mm-hmm.
when you hear the phone ringing. And you pick up the receiver. Hi, Sylvie. How have you been keeping?
Madeline, I have been keeping fine.
How's the family?
You would know. You saw her recently.
She's going.
I know. We should
Sylvie,
meet. Neutral ground.
hey. Is that by any chance something to do with the skeleton you guys stole?
Of course.
Why? What's it to you?
We are the protectors.
Of a random dead werewolf that died 200 years ago?
All werewolves.
Not all. Some don't want your protection. Some want ours.
Okay.
We can
Why
meet.
are you?
If you bring the bones, hand them over.
No.
No questions asked. Truth still stands. I'm not going to rat you out to those that would see this as a personal attack against them. Just give us the bones back and you'll be okay.
There's a moment where she stops and thinks for a second. And she... Obviously, Madeline can't see it, but there's a smile that goes across Sylvie's face, like a knowing smile that goes across her face, as if she is all right. Give me a week. Flagstaff.
I'll be there. It'll be good to see
I'll
you.
see you then. Maybe. Sure.
And you hang up. And this is where we end for today.
Mm-hmm.
With a meeting scheduled between Madeline of the Illuminati and Sylvie, perhaps alone, perhaps with the coven. That shall be discussed next time. Of the coven of Seer's Rest. Thank you very much for joining us for this ride, and thank you very much, you wonderful, wonderful people, for being the best, horniest witches you can be. Are we gonna fight over that sexy werewolf? Is this what's gonna happen? Because I feel like
No,
I
not
have
at
a
all.
bunker.
I feel like there's a
no.
couple of dipses here.
I feel like I'm trying to get both Sylvie and Pano together, and Marcus and our hot mechanic together. No, it's just like what for everyone.
Anati has crushes on so many people that she is 100% all for Pano. Like the one person that she's ever noticed Sylvie have a crush on, she is all for it.
So, Dee, you're playing yourself.
Exactly, yes.
Wonderful. So, thank you very much to you guys in chat as well and on YouTube for sticking with us through the technical issues and for being with us today. Let us know who you would go with. I mean, is it shaved Aragorn, bathed Aragorn, or is it the good-looking, dirty Aragorn, but now in werewolf form, basically? That's what I want to know. The important questions. We are saying thank you to our sponsors as well. I'll put the links back up in chat. You can check them out as well as get some juicy discounts for our affiliate. I can talk. One outage and my English is gone. But yeah, we will put all of that in chat. Chatbot's out as well still. But while I do that, if you guys want to say goodbye to everyone and where we can find you in the coming week. Let's start with D and go clockwise.
Hi, my name is D. I am a voice actor, streamer, musician, professional GM with the Emerald City Game Masters Guilds. I also play Julian in Woodsy Studios' Crimson Spires. If you want to see me play a werewolf a vampire that is romanceable in a visual novel. I also do commissions for voiceover stuff, so if you like my voice or anything that you have seen me in, feel free to hit me up in DMs or at my email, both of which are available on my Twitter, at It's Riddler, just like it says on that fancy nameplate below me. The season just recently ended, so I don't have a lot of shows to promote, and I've never been so excited. I'm going to get to stream on my own channel for once. Won't that be fun? But yeah, thank you guys for coming out.
Hey everybody, I am Valdrianther on Twitch. You can find me there. I produce TTRPG games for me and my friends. We start on Wednesdays and go all the way through Saturday. Wednesdays we have Dungeons and Dragons. Thursdays, for the last week in a while, we will have Dungeons and Dragons, and as that show will be in a finale. And The Expanse on Thursdays. Fridays, Lancer, and Saturdays we have Dragon Age. Otherwise, you can hear every Monday, being socially awkward science witch.
Well, hi everyone, it's Rendis from Party Wipe Games. We do a lot of different tabletop RPGs. In about an hour and a half, I will be on the Penny for a Tale, where we are going to be recording the first episode of Trudvang. I will be playing a Norse wizard type, some fun magic and cosplay, and it's going to be great. Tuesdays on my channel, we play Vampire the Masquerade. It's a fun time there. They're a delightful dumpster fire. Thursdays, we are going to be wrapping up our Scum and Villainy game, and I think the plan is to jump into Mass shortly after that, which is exciting. Fridays, we have the finale of the Nibiru game that got pushed back to this week, so I'm excited to see that wrap up. Saturdays, we play Descent into Avernus, a 5th edition game, and Sundays we do Things from the Flood, which is the sequel to Tales from the Loop, and that is delightful because the teens found out one of their friends was a robot, so, you know, it's a great time.
Hi everyone, my name is Alyssa. You can find me at Alyssa Vamp on Twitter and on Twitch as well, where I do my art streams. If you just want to come watch me do art and chill and have conversations. You can also find me on different Twitch channels. You can find me here with these beautiful people and this beautiful guide Mondays. Thursdays, you can find me over at Inter Adventures playing Masks, where I play the Reformed. Saturdays, you can find me over at Valdriant's channel playing Dragon Age. If you like a horny group, it's Dragon Age. Why wouldn't we be a horny group?
We horny on main all the time.
Yep. And then right after that, I play in Plot Hunter Saturday Nights, and we're an all POC, all LGBTQIA plus channel. So if you like supporting those spaces, come watch us play some D&D. And Sunday mornings, you can find me at the Hive Goblin, DMing for friends of mine, where I take them through a homebrew world with loose D&D rules. Right now, they're in an island full of undead. And they're in the mist, and trees started moving, so that's going to be fun. And Sunday nights, you can find me over at Indoor Adventures again, playing Rime of the Frost Mating, where, similar to Rinda's game, we found out 2 episodes ago that one of our party members is a doppelganger, so that was fun. But that's me.
All the fakes, woo.
I'm gonna make a note of that for this game. No. And I'm Lydia, I'm half-assed hermit. I'm mostly here on Weave the Tale, usually behind the scenes,